Okay, hey everybody. This is Grace, and it's 7:09 p.m. I figured it's time to get outside and do my little updates. Yeah, I always make myself go out at least once a day, even if it's just to my SUV, and or just down to the park, wherever. So I won't be inside all day long. 2020, really, I was one of those more vulnerable because of my rare health condition. And 2020, wow, I think it definitely didn't help me. But I'm not a healthcare provider, so. Anyway, so I'll give it a little update. And I spoke to, yesterday, I had to call the, yesterday was a Sunday, I had to call the, not emergency, but the after hours kind of number for the doctor, the cardiologist, and I told the woman, she was a nurse, yeah, and I told her that I was having weird symptoms, and I had just started, he had put me on a second medication, and I had just started it the day before, on Saturday. So Saturday and Sunday I had taken it, and I was having weird, like I said, side effects or, symptoms or whatever. And I had read on Mayo Clinic what all these different side effects and everything. And it went on and on and on and on and on. I could not believe it had, that one medication had so many of these, it wasn't just side effects, but I'm going to just clump it all under side effects. Possible ones. Not, you're going to have them, but they're possible. And, I had a few. So, anyway, I had told that nurse that I would, that what I wanted to do, because also Saturday, right after I took it, I had what I would call food poisoning, but I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare provider. I don't know, diagnosing even the food poisoning. Because I wasn't feeling well the day before and all this stuff, but I got very ill. And, so I told her, all about all these different things that had happened. And she said she'd leave it for the doctor. The doctor's nurse called today. A lot of trouble with my phone still. I have yet to get a new one. The little button to slide to answer, just on the screen, for whatever reason, stopped working. I don't know. Well, let me see. Let me guess. Is my phone, or was my phone at that time 2 years or 2.5 years old? Because consistently, since I've had a phone since, the 1990s or something, no matter which service it was, no matter which kind of phone it was, inexpensive, expensive, no matter what, 2 to 2.5 years, that's when they would start having problems. It's time to get a new one. Wow. Seriously, it is consistent. I remember when I met at the major, I would say, well, one of phone companies. I told her that. I said, let me guess. And I put it to that way, I told her there was a problem with my phone. And I said, let me guess. It's going to be that the phone's 2 years old to 2.5 years. And she looked and she goes, oh my goodness. She said, that's what she said. Oh my goodness, how did you know that? Because today is 2.5 years since you got that phone. It's an experience. It was funny, even to me, that exactly, I don't write down when I get the phone, or something. Keep track of something like that. Yeah, but they do, because they're the ones selling it, Well, it was back then. I don't know if it is all different now or how it is different. I'm not all sitting there going, ooh, how can I get the best deal on a new phone? Seriously, I don't think about it. I'm a person, if it does, I'm very functional. If it, is functional and it works, great. You said, well, now look at the phone you got. But see, Adam has the same one, the same phone. same brand and all that, whatever you want to call it. Same phone, same number, all of that. His works just fine, and he's constantly on his these days. He's older than I, but he likes listening to comedians on his cell phone. I don't know. That's his thing lately. But anyway, so my mind just, nah. Anyway, okay, so there was it's not always easy for people to call me, all this kind of stuff because of the phone. I figured out ways it can work, but then I have to do this and that and sit there, and I'm not a person who's glued to my phone, period. But anyway, so we, it was kind of aggravating to me. It has been a whole aggravating thing for me since because I am on this one other medication. I know how it works. It does not cause many problems, and so I want to continue with that. Well, no, I'm 61 years old. I have been through this. I don't know how many times. It's, what I want to do is to put you on this other one. Everybody, it seems like it has been years of this, decades of this, not years, decades, and so many different healthcare providers. They always, not all of them, but not always, often, they want to tweak it a little bit. No. There's an expression, and you say it the Southern way. It is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Period. But no. They want to tweak a little here, tweak a little there. And they're not going to diagnose something. Serious. Known to men don't diagnose, but we're going to tweak your medicine a little bit. No, I'm not your guinea pig. And whatever kickback you get, I don't know if they get kickbacks. I really do wonder if they get kickbacks, from pharmaceutical companies or some kind of something. And that's wrong for me to say that because I don't have any information that suggests, okay, maybe I do, but I don't know, maybe I don't. But anyway, why do you got to fix something that's not broken and cause the patient so much trouble? When I first started making videos on YouTube on my original channel, it'll be 11 years in August. I was going through what I didn't know at the time, but I was the one that had to figure it out. It was about 2.5 years, shortly after I started making videos, when I finally figured out what was wrong with me, what was going wrong with me. I had something that looked like it was growing on my skin, on my body. And it was everywhere that there's no hair follicles, or at least that's how it seemed. It would have like a rash. After 21 healthcare providers, I quit counting. So in other words, over 21 healthcare providers, different levels, all that, different places, different this, ER, 5 different ERs, all these different things. Over 2.5 years, I figured it out. None of them suggested I was allergic and that it was a rash. None of them. None. And I even lost teeth because of it. Seriously. And I have a partial now because of it. And I went to the ER because of the teeth problem. Oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe. And none of them even suggested it could be that I was allergic to a medication. Any of the medications. Hello? Does that look like a rash to you? And oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe. But I figured it out. I figured out what it was. I quit taking the medication, and I've weaned myself off, and I'm not suggesting anybody do this, not anybody, but I'm not anybody. Some would say I was pretty stupid to do that, but it wasn't that kind of, anyway, I did it, and voila, it went away. So the doctor, with his infamous wisdom, decided he would put me on a different one. And I said, I took it. I said, no. And as I found out from the pharmacist, It was in the same family of medications as the one that I reported to him. I'm starting to sound so sarcastic, like people I can't stand when they sound like this. I really cannot stand when I hear people sound like this at all. At all. It's like fingernails across this chalkboard. And if you look at them and they speak like this, oh my gosh, it's cringe. I was just watching somebody who's like that on TV. But anyway, on YouTube, in fact. But anyway, I mean, this doctor, seriously. And I told him, I said, no, my pharmacist said that he will not, because I had such a bad reaction, he would not, they're not allowed to renew that prescription. And he got really mad. The doctor said, well, you let the pharmacy figure out your medication then. You know, you figure out your health then. Well, he would have done a lot better, I have a feeling. Because this doctor not only just prescribed me one in the same family, but then he continued with that attitude, trying to renew that prescription. And my pharmacist kept telling me, you know, I'm not going to renew this. I said, it's not me. It's between you and him. I had had enough, man. I told the doctor, I said, look, I'm listening to what the pharmacist said. He said I can't take it. I said, don't try to put me in between the two of you. Triangulate me into this, whatever you two got going on. I was mad. But I said it not so mean-like. I said it in a really nice, very stern, but still nice. And I'm tired of the crap stuff. You know, and that's the doctor and his nurse. They were really bad. They'd be okay at first, and then right at the end of the, you know, one was seeing one or the other, not the same time. But at the end of the visit would be do like darts or something, zingers or something. And but he and his nurse, his main nurse, they both quit in 2020. So anyway, thank goodness I feel good for most people. But then they hired some. Well, anyway, boy, I'm gonna go down that road, huh? Yeah. And this was supposed to be the update. This video was supposed to be the update of what's going on now. Stream of consciousness, I'm telling you, that was. But right now, like I was saying, you know, I had the whole problem getting that they call this, you know, and I have to call them back, and then I have to wait, and then I have to, you know, and then she says, oh, I'm going to have to call you back again. Really? I am not glued to my phone. And in order to be able to answer it, I have to keep something open on the phone, and then it doesn't pop up the same way. It does it as a little pop-up, and that way it lets me answer it because I'm not sliding from the bottom, I'm punching from the top. Seriously, I had to figure that one out. And but my phone will close, it'll turn itself off after so many, I think it's 3 minutes or something. And Adam and I both have, he said, I had the same problem. We've both looked, you know, he didn't do it today just because I was saying it. He's had that same problem trying to figure it out. And believe me, we're not new to phones. He designed the circuit. Okay, I'm going to probably say this wrong. But in San Jose, he worked in San Jose back in the day. And he's an electrical engineer design. He designed the circuitry for cell phones. Woo! And all that stuff back then was, oh, hush, hush. See, I'm even lowering my voice. It was really hush, hush. But, so we're not new to this stuff. I had my first phone, I think, I used to say it was 2002. But no, I think it was in the 1990s. I had my first computer in 1982, so. But anyway, both of us, you know, we're not new to this stuff, but we still cannot find on these cell phones. We would have the same cell phone. Didn't know the other one was doing it. Other day, different days, all that. Trying to find how do you turn it, you know, change it to where it doesn't turn off so fast. We've both done this with other phones. Just this one phone. It's like, oh my gosh, could they have made it any worse? Seriously. To where you can't find that one thing. And even, you know, asking it, nope. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I wonder how many, I'm not going to go there. Yeah, not going to go there. Not going to go there. But, not to complain about certain people who say those boomers are some of the ones that started this stuff off. Ooh. Like I just said, Adam was one of those too. And I was one. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm not getting this video done like I'm thinking I wanted to. But the health thing was finally, to get back to this, when I told that nurses that, I just don't want to, since I've been ill, I just want to wait, not take that medication, wait until I'm better, then start it again and see if I still have the same kind of reactions to it. So today, that was the first nurse I talked to yesterday. The nurse today is a different nurse. And she said, well, the doctor, when she called me back the second time, she told me that the doctor said just to stay off of it for a week and then try it again next weekend. I said, well, that's what I had told the original nurse that I wanted to do. Yeah, but anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. And if, I'm telling you, I did not like the response, but I know when I have some kind of negative reactions, like this one, it's hard, and that's what I told that first nurse, was that because I was ill with something, I don't know what was causing it, whether it was food poisoning or what, you see? So, anyway, so we'll see what happens with that. Okay, but now other things, like my hip is not hurting, my left hip has been hurting, was off and on, and the physical therapist, she said it sounded like bursitis. And I said, oh, yeah, I was diagnosed with bursitis years ago. And I was when I was 25. I'm 61 now, so that's quite a long while back. And I don't remember if it was that side or what. And, but I didn't tell her all that. I'm telling you all that. I'm telling the phone recording. But anyway, that's still, I have to see if physical therapy is going to help me through that. And I really want to see some results from this physical therapy. The physical therapist says I'm showing good results, but I don't know. And because it does take time out of my life, and not just the time it takes to drive there, do the stuff and then go home, but it also, will cause my body to, hurt. Not like pain. One time it was pain, but overall just hurt and ache and everything. And I'm not wanting to do much else. And like, I don't want to have it like that all the time. I want to be able to actually move and do things. And like this, also yesterday, I decided I wanted so bad. I have, it was, I don't know how many blankets it was. Some from just little throws, really, is what they are, to big, heavy blankets I wanted to wash. Okay, and now my cardiologist had said, I could go back to work and I could go, do the physical therapy and all that. Didn't put any limitations on me. And then that was with all that medication and everything, the extra medication. Well, I tried starting yesterday and it was like, oof. I was having shortness of breath. I'm feeling a little bit now. Well, I actually feel a lot more of the having allergies. Yeah, oh my goodness. And year round, allergies. And anyway, I was trying to do those blankets and 6 pillows all together, and I had them in a cart, and I would cart the cart. I would push the cart around the house, because I have to go through from one room, through another one, the entranceway of the house, through the through my office, through the kitchen, through the living room, down the hall, then to the laundry room. Yeah. And we have it like that because we have it blocked off for our dogs won't go up to that front part of the house. So it makes it a long trip. A long trip. No, long enough. But anyway, it was a bit too much for me. And that's when I said, okay, I'm going to have to learn to limit myself a little bit. And I kept catching myself going back over there, doing more. And I kind of hurt my back, and because I'm not working on my back in physical therapy. This is my first time to ever do physical therapy. So, first this year, this is it. I mean, I've never done physical therapy in the past. And so my back and my shoulders, I'm not doing the upper torso, I'm doing the lower. So basically sums it up. But, yeah, my back hurts, I guess, because that's not getting enough exercise, except on the bike. I do 10 minutes every time I go for physical therapy. She has me do that when I do my arms and everything. But anyway, so I realized, I need to limit myself on some things. And, and then today I finally finished, sort of. I still have 2 pillows in the laundry, or 3 pillows. 2 of them are I think they're in the, being washed. Oh my goodness, it's just been a day. And really, I actually asked Adam a while ago, I said, this is going to sound weird, but did I go out today anywhere, do anything? And he was sitting there, he just looked at me and goes, I don't think so. It was such a weird day today. I couldn't sleep well that great last night, but then I think I fell asleep around 3 or 4 in the morning. And then I woke up at 8, and I was feeling like, wow, I've slept so much, and I'm so happy. Feeling so good. Nope. So that's how it goes for me. But anyway, I feel like I'm on the, I'm doing well. I'm getting there, but still sometimes it's, it's like I told Adam, life, your body will let you know, okay, slow down. And it's weird, I've said this in the past that I'm new at getting old. I said it in a few videos ago, I don't know how many. I said, I'm new at getting old, and that is not a good way to look at it, but it is. It's takes a bit to say, okay, I'm not as, I'm not young like I used to be. I could do anything I wanted to. I could go out there and walk around the block, and it might be more of, I just don't want to go that far, but I could still do it. And now I wonder how far I could get before I say, okay, this was a little bit too much. Now how am I going to get home? Really. So, but it would have been nice if 2 years this month, that first time I went to the hospital ER with a health problem, they would have listened to me and taken care of it. But you see, I didn't have health insurance. Yeah, I've heard plenty of stories from people that had the same kind of problem. Anyway, it would have been great if all these 2 years, and then when I did have health insurance, that somebody say, oh, I'm going to diagnose this, like the last one. The cardiologist, it was a cardiologist, said, oh, I know exactly what this is. I didn't ask him. I got used to just crickets or, whatever. But did you just see a little spider walk by? It's on the windshield. Yeah, a little bitty. It's not the first one I've seen today. I'm teeny tiny ones. But anyway, I didn't ask him. He just, oh, I know exactly what this is, and he treated it, and it was exactly what it was, and I actually had suspected, and I wasn't the only person. A physical therapist did. There were a couple doctors. Well, one was a nurse and one was a doctor. Different places. They said, could it be? But they wouldn't know because they weren't the ones who were taking care of me for that purpose, and that they were not ones who should have known. All those, probably more than 21. I'm shaking my head. Anyway, wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.